Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm
Morning.
Chris Young, Chair of the HDC's Sign Advisory Committee. We'll call the meeting. Let me confirm access before we begin. Members, please respond with an aye. We have Mark Catone,
Aye.
Paul Wolf,
Aye.
and Ben Normand.
Aye.
And for staff, we have Nikki Sheriff. Great. Is Kevin here? I don't see him on my screen.
Yes.
Oh, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Sorry about that.
Good morning.
Kevin Kuster as well. Thank you. This open meeting of the HDC's SAC is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. That order, posted with the agenda materials for the meeting, allow public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording on the town's available on the town's YouTube channel. We will feature public comment, and materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on the town's website. During the meeting, I'll introduce agenda topics and speakers, and please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called, and direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and the taking of minutes easier. Votes will be conducted by roll call. So we'll call the meeting to order at 9:07 on July 15th, 2025. Do we have a motion to adopt our agenda?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Kevin?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Do we have anybody on the line for public comment that's related to something other than an agenda item? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to commissioner comments. Do any commissioners have comments they'd like to make? All right, let's move on to the approval of minutes from our July 1st meeting. Anybody like to make a motion?
So moved.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Mark. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
And Kevin? Kevin's in favor, I assume.
Yes.
Thanks, Kevin. Okay, great. We'll move on to the agenda items. We have 0 Main Street. And is anybody on the call to represent these applications?
Hi, I'm Jessie Bell. I think, I'm not sure if Tori's here also, but I'm here for those.
Okay, Jessie.
Seeing her on, I'm ready to proceed. Go ahead.
Sorry, Nikki, can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. I'm just letting Jessie know I'm not seeing Tori on the Zoom. But if you're ready to proceed, we can go ahead. We can move forward.
Okay, so this is a master sign plan followed by 2 signs that I assume would be a part of that master sign plan. So Jessie, do you want to introduce us to what we're looking at here?
Sure. So I'm coming into this a little bit late. Originally, so I am a subleasee of 0 Main Street, 2nd floor. I share the space. My lessor is Northeast Advisors. So Northeast Advisors had been in front of the sign committee, has been in front twice before proposing. I think at one time there was a sign proposed like on the, not sure what you call it, but like the trim, like horizontal outside and facing Main Street. And you were not in favor of that. There was also a hanging sign proposed for Northeast Advisors, and I think you weren't in favor of that. And then at that time, I think it was brought up that a master sign plan needed to be, brought forward, and the proposed signage should be included within that master sign plan. So I went back when I came on board and wanted a sign. I went back and listened to the minutes listened to the meetings and read the minutes. And I think what we're presenting now is responsive to those comments. And you had said to the right of the door would be the ideal place for signs. And what's important to me is that I'm able to have a separate sign from Northeast Advisors, so that because I'm renting this space, I don't know how permanent this is going to be. I want to be able to take it with me. And let's see. So I think if I recall correctly, the dimensions are 16 inches by 16 inches horizontal, 6 inches high, both signs identical, basically, one on top of the other. You know, happy to make it, and I think wood is your preference, that's fine. And yeah, just happy to answer any questions. It's my understanding that the right side of the building, which has like David Buckley and Blue Beetle, is actually a separate building owned by a separate landlord. So that was not included and never has been in this master sign plan. So
Okay, so essentially, if we're looking through the master sign plan application, I don't know if everybody was able to get Nikki's attachments, but Nikki, do you want to share that on the screen so that we can see the
Guys, you're not
master
seeing my
sign?
screen? Okay, hold on. I've been sharing it.
I'm seeing the gallery view. I don't know if everybody else is.
Okay, let's try. How about now?
No,
I'm still seeing the gallery view.
there it is.
Oh, you see it? Okay.
Are you seeing it, Paul?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What about the other
I got it.
members?
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
Yep, that's up. So is the only signage that's being proposed, Jesse, to change is this location right here? Everything else, the application is complete with all the other sign locations, which we appreciate. But just as far as new signage, so that we can focus on that, is this the only location you're proposing anything new?
yes.
Okay, great. So this is to the right of the door that the chamber uses, and the Northeast Advisors sign has not been approved. Is that correct? And your sign isn't. That's the two that we're going to be reviewing after this master sign plan goes through. Correct.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So since we're going to be looking at the master sign plan to approve this location and then these two signs, let me just go around the panel of board members here and let them contribute both the master sign plan concept as well as anything about each individual sign if they would like to. So we'll do Ben, Paul, Mark, and Kevin. So Ben, go ahead. Ben, I'm not hearing you.
I don't see Ben on.
Okay, let's hop over to Paul. Paul?
Thank you, Chris. I have no questions or problems with these signs or the plan.
Okay, great. Mark?
I would agree with Paul. Nothing to add.
Okay, and Kevin?
I just need a little clarification. Is what we're looking at now the master sign plan for this entrance, or?
Yeah, so there's three applications on the agenda. The first is the master sign plan, which is showing us all the existing signs and then these two new signs.
Okay.
So we're looking right now at the master sign plan, but then the next two applications are for these individual signs. So you can comment on.
So is there 4 tenants upstairs or 3?
There up that set of stairs, there are 3 is my understanding, and that would be maybe there's a residence on the 3rd floor, I'm not sure. But as far as businesses,
Yeah.
It's myself and Northeast Advisors and the chamber.
And you said the signs are wood. Are they going to be painted? I assume.
I assume I can if that's what they're supposed to be, then they will be.
Okay, I have no other concerns or questions.
Okay.
Oh, it says
I agree.
carved. I'm sorry.
Let's just see, is that? It does say carved on the sign, Jesse.
Does that, but I assume, I mean, we would be painting them, so carved and painted, is that not, would you rather not have that, or what's?
Oh, either would be fine. I think carving, it just is telling us that you're going to carve into it and also paint it.
Right.
I don't think that would hold up the application either way if it was carved. as long as it is painted and not vinyl letters applied, I think is
Right.
what the guidelines are trying to protect.
Does it say, where does this, oh, they checked she circled a box that says carved, beveled? Carved,
It's
yeah,
a-
okay. I mean, I think carved looks nicer. So that's good for me.
Motion
Okay.
to approve?
So let's do 3 motions just so that we can, so we'll motion to approve for the master sign plan, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay, great. And Paul seconded it. Mark, you in favor?
Aye.
And Paul,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Okay, great. Is Ben back on the line?
I think he lost power in his building, so he's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
get in if he can, but he can't right now.
gotcha. So, great. And so now we have the first sign on the agenda, which is,
Advisors.
Nikki, help me out here. Which one are we looking at?
Northeast
So
Advisors.
Northeast is
next
first.
is Northeast,
So-
advisors, which should be.
Move approval.
All right, thanks, Paul. Wait a second.
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. Mark, you're in favor?
Aye.
And Paul,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Great, thank you. And now Jesse Bell's sign. Thank you.
Move approval.
Thank you, Paul. Mark, thank you. Kevin, you in favor?
Aye.
And Mark,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
great. All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks,
Thank
Jesse.
you all very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for bringing this in. All right. So the next item on the, are we at 45 Main Street?
That would be the sign I am working on.
Okay, great. Would you, I jumped over actually 57 Main Street. I'm sorry. Is there anybody on the call for 57 Main Street?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that to the
That's
gentleman
okay.
at 45. Spending a lot of time on Main Street this
It's
morning.
okay.
So go ahead and, is this Shelley?
Yes,
Hi, Shelley.
I'm
So go
trying to
ahead.
start my video.
Great.
Am I on? I don't have, oh, there I am. Okay,
All right. Introduce us to this application.
okay, so, I'm sorry, my phone is blowing up. I'll read you a prepared statement. How's that? Because I'm nervous about this. It's not very long.
Sure.
I don't represent any group or interest except my own in an effort to preserve a bit of history on Nantucket. My goal with this project is to preserve an approachable historical marker. The more people see the sign, the more people will be curious about it, and the more they'll want to know about our unique history here. The name Petticoat Row defines an important era on Nantucket. We have multiple historical markers around town about the whaling industry on the island, but none that show women's importance in that time. So I'm assuming most of you are familiar with the history of Petticoat Row. I put a little history in my paperwork, which I took from the Nantucket Historical Association website. But the key that I think is important to this is the line that says, although women elsewhere in America did work and became involved in their communities, Nantucket women were making decisions and managing finances that not only affected their families directly, but, quote, they were making decisions that had a direct impact on the island's economy and its place in the world. So several months ago, I noticed the remnants of a painted sign on the side of the building at 57 Main and Center. It's the Condon and Coleman Insurance Company building. Familiar with the history of Petticoat Row, I understood the significance of the sign and what it represents. It's almost not visible now, but first I spoke to the owner of the building, Bill Condon. He's enthusiastic about restoring the marker. I went to the Whaling Museum to investigate. They sent me to the research library. At the research library, I worked with Matthew, who is a reference archivist for the NHA. He was very supportive, and he came up with the pictures that I included in my application. We were able to find the sign painted, fully. I think it was from the 1930s on the side of the building. I spoke with Brian Bouchard at N Magazine about this. He's also embracing the idea of highlighting this important marker, and he wants to do a story in N Magazine about Petticoat Row and the significance of women in that era on the island. He was hoping to get it in the August issue, but we missed that deadline because my sign didn't get approved. So maybe we'll make the September, which would be great. Mary Bergman has also been extremely helpful in my process, trying to figure this all out. She's going to be writing the story for N Magazine. So what I did is I researched, oh, there's more, I'm sorry. What's left of the sign, when it has been referred to as a ghost sign, I looked up the meaning of that term, because I wasn't sure what that exactly meant. But what I found is, quote, ghost signs are typically painted directly onto the building's exterior, usually brick. That's true. They're usually faded and obscured. True again. They usually have a historical significance. Ghost signs can provide a glimpse into the past, revealing, quote, information about businesses, brands, and social history that might otherwise be lost. So repainting this marker will preserve information that I feel is very important to the history of Nantucket. I'm not saying it's going to give people a full understanding of Petticoat Row and what that meant, but I believe it will pique interest. And that's what we want with historical markers. I submitted a page of specifics, but I can read through them if you want. I've researched the size of the bricks on the side of the building. They're not exactly a standard size today, but counting the bricks and calculating what the size was then, the sign will be 1224. I chose the colors from the Nantucket Historic Paint Colors Collection, MHC-1 and Folger Blue, MHC-4. Insurance for when we paint this on the side of the building, Bill Condon has generously offered to provide. The painter is dependent on when we get approval and the schedule of the painting. Miguel Pereira, Adam Zanelli are both highly recommended by Ben Moore and the Nantucket Preservation Trust. They're both willing to do the work, but they can't say yes until I can give them a time frame.
I miss it.
Okay,
That's my.
thanks, Shelley. So
Sure.
this board had reviewed the application at the last meeting. There were some concerns about colors, which appear to be identified now, although the application still says black or blue lettering and white or beige background. Have you honed in on what you're applying for exactly there?
Yes, I put it on this. I brought, what do they call it? Like additional paperwork or whatever you add to your file. And in that, the specifics are listed. The colors are chosen. It's been submitted. Yes. I didn't change the original application. I didn't think we could do that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Chris, I'm not seeing anything on my screen other than the agenda.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm having issues with screen share today.
Okay, Kevin, I can. Nikki's.
So here is
Yeah,
it.
there's
Got it going on.
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
So this.
so
this
Shelley-
is
Thank
the
you, Nikki.
revision.
Shelley, I'm going to ask you to let the board members speak now and just hold any comments until everybody's finished.
Mhm.
So we'll go Mark, Kevin, and Paul. The colors, just so that you know, yeah, Nikki's got it up now, are showing white and Folger blue. So we're talking white background, Folger blue lettering, 12 inches tall, 24 inches wide. So go ahead, Mark. Lead us out.
Sure. Yeah, Shelley, thank you for all the background information and the homework that you've done. I did go up and look at the ghost sign after the last review. It does appear that we've sort of defined further some of the vagueness of the original discussion. So we have now a size and colors, and the colors seem to be consistent with what is sort of what appears to be on the building now. So I don't know that I have any concerns or questions, and yeah, I think I'm fine with everything that's been presented thus far. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Kevin?
I'm having a little hard time understanding what the font is going to look like. Do we have any more detail on that?
That was it. Ooh,
Yeah, Kevin, if I may just jump back in, I don't know, Kevin, if you had the opportunity to go see what's there today, this does look pretty consistent with what's there or what remains there. So I don't know if it's a font that we can put in a box
Yeah.
like we typically do, but it
Right.
is consistent if this sign dates back to the 30th as to what was there, and certainly doesn't look contemporary by my eye upon observation.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Can I see the ghost sign again, please?
that is.
Well, with a current photo, maybe.
Yeah. I think it's sent the other way.
There.
Okay, and where do we where do we get the white background? I don't understand how we go from that to the other one to what we're going to do.
Well, Shelley,
Well-
go ahead, Shelley. You can respond to that.
The picture is old. The background looks white. It might be beige. We're not sure, but we took the historic colors that are, considered optimal for Nantucket and tried to find the best match we can. There is no color picture because it's the 1930s. So we just did our
I
best.
understand.
Oh.
I understand that, but if you look at your lettering on this
Because it fell
photograph,
off. It's fallen off. Right, the white is gone, but it doesn't mean it didn't exist. It's just gone before the lettering.
okay. Then why are the letters white on the next photograph?
They're not.
They're-
I think that
Kevin, I looked at that too. I think they're bluish. It's just
Hmm.
faded out so much that you're just seeing sort of remnants of. You may actually be seeing the background. It was painted probably a beige, and then they painted the blue over the background. The blue's actually worn away over time, revealing oddly the background that remains. But there is a blue tint to that because I was trying to figure out if it's black or blue, and I also had the same question about the background. It's also questionable whether the whole thing got cleaned off at one point and they only repainted just the letters later
Oh.
at some point. Questionable, who knows? But
Okay. Well,
way
Bill
your
Condit did it.
concerns, just what my observations were.
yeah. No, thanks, Mark. That's helpful. In general, for me, I would rather see it remain as it is as a ghosted sign. However, if we'll see what the other commissioners have to say. I think if it does go to this version here, I think white is way too contrasty and is I would rather see something more beige or a muted gray, light muted gray, or something that's a little bit more in keeping with the mortar of the building rather than just a bright white. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Right, thanks, Kevin. Paul?
Yeah, I agree with what Kevin just said. I prefer this approach, but I think the white is too white. So something toned down, a little more gray, a little would be fine.
I guess my question would be, what is the color of the window and door trim? There's a lot of millwork on the front of this building. Is it a cream color, Shelley? Or
If I
versus
can
a
say,
white?
we're trying to replace an historical marker. So the reference to what's going to be presented is pretty critical to match the pictures. That's what an historical marker does, like it draws people to the facts. I understand that the aesthetic perhaps on Nantucket has changed since the time this sign was painted. But we're not hoping to put a contemporary marker. My hope is to restore an historical marker. And it's erasing the history of the image if we alter it to different colors and don't respect.
Well, respectfully, Shelley, I think this
Yeah,
is a black and white photograph. So
yeah, but it's not gray.
we're not talking about gray. I'm asking what the color of the millwork of the fenestration is. You know, the door, the so that, as Kevin pointed out, having something that doesn't come across as a you know, bright white new sign on the side of the building, something that might, perhaps it was in keeping with what the millwork was painted at the time. We don't know. It's a black and white photograph. There's no way to turn back time and identify that color exactly. But
Chris, I have another
Kevin, go
question.
ahead. Yeah.
I'm just not sure how or who or how this has been determined to be a historical marker. I think it's a sign for the street, sign for what happened there. It's not a, it's, I don't know what makes it a marker. It's, you know, it's a ghost sign on a building. So I think the reference to, you know, historical marker is a little bit obscure.
There was no business called Petticoat Row. There was no store called
Okay,
Petticoat Row. So it's
I'm
a,
just sharing my opinion. I don't want to go
yeah,
back and
I'm
forth
just
with
trying.
you.
Yeah, Shelley,
Yeah.
let's just get back onto letting everybody
Mhm.
speak. It shouldn't be a debate here.
Mm.
The reason I asked about the colors, that's the only thing that really concerns me, is putting something up that would be a real blight to the side of this building, making it stand out. I appreciate that preserving some history would be nice. I think of the building at the bottom of Main Street that has some antique signage that doesn't relate to businesses that are currently in that building, and I think you know, personally, I'm not opposed to seeing this sign move forward. So let me just go around the board one more time, and since we've had a discussion, does anybody want to weigh in, having heard other commissioners' comments? Go Mark, Paul, Kevin.
Yeah, I actually don't really have an issue with the application. I think we're trying to replicate something that there is some photographic evidence of back in what appears to be the 30s. And I would kind of like to think that maybe the sign, and maybe that it's not really part of this application, but that they will continue to let it sort of age and patina. And then maybe it's maintained, you know, a decade from now, what have you. So they don't have to go through this effort completely all over again. But yeah, I you know, it does sort of speak to a historical significance of the development of Center Street and what was there. There's a lot going on in this facade in general, and I don't find this to be terribly impactful or detrimental to the historic nature of what we're seeing in this black and white photo on the screen currently and what will be there today. I have a real respect for sort of bringing back some of these hints of our past, and appreciate this is not promoting any particular business whatsoever. It's being brought to us by an independent historical interest. Yeah, will there be an article potentially? That sure, but that seems okay. Again, it's not, I think, promoting any specific business. And Petticoat Road today is really a mixture of edifice buildings or businesses, as we know. It's not necessarily all woman owned and operated any longer. So yeah, I really have no concerns. I still sort of am comfortable with my original comments and support the application as submitted.
So Mark, before we move on, any color issues? White?
You know, did we answer your question, Chris, about the color of the sash?
No, we haven't. That hasn't been addressed.
We could probably quickly determine that. I can close my comments. Assuming that the sashes are white, I actually prefer just the blue and white versus a beigey approach with this. personally, and the white will get dirty and fade, as we know all these signs do. So I think I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do a quick look online to see if I can determine the color of the sash. Thank you.
I can
Thanks, Mark.
ask Bill Congdon if he knows.
Well, I can look
Okay.
online.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Paul?
I have nothing to add, Chris.
All right, thanks. And Kevin, back to you. Any other follow-up comments?
No, my comment is still the same. I don't think it should be a bright white. And I think it's reasonable for us to have it, exact color, recommendations approved.
Okay. I agree with that, given the nature of this sign, and I think that Shelley, we may want to just take one more chance to review colors, depending on how the motion goes here. Yeah.
Chair, it is white. All the sashes
white.
are white. The facade is white.
Okay.
And when I say the facade, the fenestration and the storefront on Main Street itself, as well as the sashes on Center Street. So the white would be consistent with the background color that's already on that building now.
Okay. And perhaps we could make a motion that indicates a matching white, just to
Sure.
make sure that we're in the right.
Yeah,
right
I'll
shade.
give it a shot. I don't know. I mean, I would make a motion to approve as submitted with the background in a white to match the existing white on the door and window sashes of this structure.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Paul. Kevin, are you in favor?
Just for discussion, will we be getting any kind of final art, or is it all coming off that photograph?
The way the motion is now.
In other words, what is the painter going to use to paint from?
The picture.
It has to, as closely as possible, resemble the photograph.
I could amend my motion that the restoration should and needs to replicate the documented photograph and what remnants of the original sign that are there today. They should be working within that
Okay.
information, I guess.
Also, Mark, would you be willing to add? I think the paint finish should be a matte finish. It should not be glossy or bright.
I would amend my motion that the sheen for the paint should be a matte finish, which is consistent with the faded sign that's there today.
Okay, so just
well, there may even be, if the applicant wants to produce this historically, it can be determined, I would think, what kind of paint was used. So, and anybody, I would think, could figure that out. And that way you are reproducing it with the exact same materials that was going on. So just a thought. Those are all my comments. Thanks.
Okay, so for Nikki's sake, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to summarize what I believe is the motion. We're going to start from scratch on this motion here. So we have a motion by Mark to recommend approval for as closely as possible replicating the sign that is documented using colors that match the trim, the existing trim of the windows and doors, and using paint that is as closely matching the historical paint that was used. And if given no other guidance, it should be of a matte finish.
I'll second that.
Okay. So Kevin, are you in favor of that?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
And I am as well. Thank you very much, Shelley. Well represented.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. All right. So now we're going to move over to the gentleman at 45 Center Street, or Main Street, excuse me. Thanks for patiently waiting with us. Introduce us to your application.
I applied last week for the sign. This is for Nantucket Pharmacy. They have never had a sign before, a projecting sign, but they've been a business on Island for many years. And so what I just posted last year was a short revision. And I mean, the proof is in the document. What would you like me to go over?
That's okay. Nikki, can you pull it up on the screen for us?
I do have it up. Just give it a second to pitch in over
Okay.
your end. Sorry about that.
One of the things we did to make it conform better was use the same text type off the front of the building. It says Nantucket Pharmacy on either side of the front door, and we used the same font style in the sign so that it would look more conforming.
Okay, just a second, Kelly. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Do you also have
All right.
the file from last week? With okay, great, it's all there.
All right, so Nikki, can you scroll down just so we can see the design of the sign for a moment? And then we'll also want to look at okay, so there's the location. And the size of this sign is listed as,
22 inches by 17.5 inches.
okay, so that does comply with the size guidelines. Okay, great. Let's go Kevin and then Mark and
Sorry,
Paul.
Chris,
Oh, go ahead.
do you mind just for the benefit of everybody, are you able to quickly reference maybe off the top of your head materiality? Because I do see MDO on the application as a proposed material, unless that's inaccurate.
Oh, yes. So let's go to the application for a moment. Just make sure it has to be a wood sign carved or painted as opposed to.
Actually, can I contest that?
Well,
You
you
can
can test, or you can just
contest it?
clarify. I read MDO.
Or
on
whatever
the
the
there it
what-
says, right, MDO.
Yeah, what is your concern?
My concern is in section 3.6 of the sign handbook, it says, actually, sorry, it's in the 3.6. Please read that. It says, I can present my screen if you'd like to see it.
No, read it.
But it clearly says, I'll read it to you. Signs shall be made of wood except as required by state or federal law. No particle board or plastic or baked enamel shall be used. Medium density overlay, MDO, plywood or marine plywood may be used, but it must be edge banded. Solid wood is recommended over plywood, but other materials are considered for, there it is.
Okay, so this is not a carved sign then? Is that
It is a
correct?
carved sign.
So you're going to carve into MDO, okay.
This is correct.
That is an interesting point you raised. We'll have to double check on that, how it ended up. I believe where we were looking at using MDO was in painted signs that weren't carved. I'm wondering how your longevity you're going to be carving into the
Well, I would like to
core of it, but
present to you another picture of a sign that was made from wood that is actually, you can tell from Google when you put yourself in front of the business that the sign is very warped, and MDO is not going to have that kind of
that's actually part of the charm that's trying to be replicated. But
I see.
let me ask you to hold on to any more comments. We're going to go around the board. If I think I've lost track of my order. Is it Kevin, Mark, Paul? Kevin?
Sir, couple things. I would be insistent that this needs to be a wood sign. I think that it's being a rather obscure reading of our handbook, and I'd also suggest that our handbook is a handbook and it's not specific laws or rules. I continue to think that this sign is very attractive, and I continue to say that it should be made of wood. Look, I don't like putting wood gutters on my house either. I think it's impractical, but I have to do it. And if I'm a business on Main Street and I want a sign and it's in this kind of location, it needs to be well done. It needs to be well presented, and it needs to be wood. It needs to weather in with the rest of the, of the character of the, streetscape. So I would approve this in wood, but no other way. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Mark?
Yeah, I'd agree with what Kevin just said. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Uh, I agree with the applicant, the guidelines, and I only have the early version from 2005 in front of me, but it also it also says MDO, as he read to us from the latest version. Other than that, I don't have any comments, but I don't think we can argue about what the guidelines call for. That's
I
it.
am just pulling up the revised. I just want to understand that material since that is actually something that has not been brought to our attention in an application before.
I can
Um,
confirm as well, Mr. Chair, it is in
yeah,
the revised one.
it is in the revised guidelines. So I also would appreciate seeing wood. I think that the sensitivity of this location, this is the the most visible and preserved street that we've tried to protect. So I would rather see that be a wood sign as well. But you're correct, the guidelines do allow for it. The reason I will point out this, and this might be our argument, would be that it says it must be edge banded, and that is to preserve the fact that MDO, once absorbing water, it will blow apart, become a spongy looking material. And so the edge banding is there to preserve that. I think once it gets carved into, it's going to create the same issue. There's no way to edge band the carving. So that's my fear. And I don't want to see a sign on Main Street that's going to look
Chris,
terrible after a season.
Chris, I don't have the guidebook in front of me, but is a reference to MDO only with a painted surface?
Yes.
So if they want a carved surface,
It
needs to be
doesn't
wood.
specify. It doesn't specify carving or not carving. To be clear, it says it must be an edge banded sign, and that was to preserve the quality of the surface. So,
Well, okay. Well, I'd be
and I
I'd
think
be
we also need
inclined.
to be. We should be clear that MDO is not the foam core that we're seeing, other applicants apply for and then change over to wood. MDO is it's a product, specific product. So let's just make sure that we're not approving something and then the foam core product is what's being used.
I just want to add that we've been approving signs on this island for a long time. And this is a very prominent location where an actual old sign has been preserved on its facade. I think it's an insult, to the community to put up a sign that isn't reproduced accurately. We just got done going through talking about painting an old restoring sign, and now we're talking about putting up a fabricated wood product. I don't think it's appropriate at all, and I think that if this board's inclined to go that way, this is really a precedent-setting move that should go to the full board. So those are my comments. Thanks.
All right. Well, I'm not sure that this definitely will go to the full board. Would somebody like to make a motion here?
I'll make a motion to approve a wood carved sign.
I chime back in before the motion.
We have a motion on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I will. Yeah, we're gonna let this motion go. I will say this: the applicants, for your peace of mind, so to speak, this will go to tonight's meeting. If you have, we are the advisory board, so we're trying to make the HDC's job easier by having these conversations outside of their regular agenda.
Right.
So at the meeting tonight, it will be voted on officially. You are more than welcome to go to that meeting and state your case. They're the ones that will approve or deny this.
Right.
I think that our reaction to this is simply, are we doing what is in the, our historical interest as far as preserving the guidelines? So let's let this motion go through. My advice would be, if you have comments to make before the formal approval is made, you should attend the meeting with the HDC, because they will definitely.
How, where can I get
allow
the
you.
link for that?
Nikki, you'll be able to help with that.
I will send it to you, Kelly. However, council members, I won't be able to speak on the council's behalf if this goes to the full board this afternoon. So, Mr. Chair, if you can be present, that would be great.
And I can be. So, and Kelly, that's at 4 o'clock. So we have a motion, which is Kevin's motion is to approve this as a wood carved sign.
Okay.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
Mark, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Kevin?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. So that meeting is at 4 o'clock. Am I right, Nikki?
Correct. I'll
And it's-
send him the link. It's at 4. It's in person or you can do Zoom. So I'll just send you the link.
Okay, and it is early on the agenda. It'll be one of the
Yes,
first items.
you have to be
So,
there at 4. Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you, Kelly.
Take care.
Okay. Nikki, I have to admit, I've stepped away. What is the next item on the agenda? I've lost my computer link.
The next item is, the garden club. For multiple
Okay.
locations, temporary sign.
Great. Do we have a representative?
Yes, I'm
online
here,
for
Debbie
that?
Thomas.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Go ahead and introduce us to your application.
Okay, I'm back basically with the same request that we have every year. This is our 69th annual house tour. This year it's being held in Sconset on Baxter Road. And we have, as we have always had, we have a banner on each property. There are 9 properties that says NGC. And that's on each person's private property. We also have this year, because we're busing people from town out to Sconset, we have bus stop signs which say they're the same sign that we always make with usually that has an arrow on it, but this time instead of having an arrow, it has the words bus stop on it. And they would be up in Sconset on Baxter Road across from number 12. Yeah, those are the direction signs that we'll have off of Sankaty Road coming into our property, but we actually are not sure we're even going to have those. I just wanted approval in case we have them, because the bus is going to let people off at just where Butterfly Lane, where you see number 1 there down at the bottom. The bus is going to let them off there. And then when you get to Rosalie Street, which is down past number, Rosalie Street is at number 2. There, that will be where the bus picks them up to take them back into town. And those signs, the first sign will be on Baxter Road, just sort of on the nature strip and across from number 1. And the one going to Rosalie will be on private property in a cone, and it says Nantucket Garden Club House Tour Bus Stop, and then it has our logo, which is a flower basket. Yeah, that's the banner. And well, as you know, the tour lasts for 6 hours. The signs are up for 6 hours, and then we take them down.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we have seen these in years past, so we appreciate you bringing them back to our board for review. Let me go through, say Paul, Mark, and then Kevin.
I have no problem. I would move approval if it's appropriate.
All
Second.
right, let me just, okay. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
Mark
Aye.
and Paul.
Aye.
Great.
Great, thank you. Thank you all so
Thank you.
much.
I just
Good luck
add,
with it.
I just want to say thank you to Debbie for presenting. Not all organizations go through this effort, and you presented a very organized presentation. They're only up for 6 hours, but you went through a lot of effort to get these approvals, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would even add, I don't know if this is being done currently, but in the past, we've waived the application fee for nonprofits. So in
Yes,
this
that-
case.
That's still could have been done. Thank you for that too.
Great.
Yeah, it was done, Kevin.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Debbie. All right, let's move on to the rock sign. It's a 10-12 Dave Kim Lane. We have emeritus listed. Are they online?
I am, Mr. Chair.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Go ahead and introduce us to this application, please.
Sure. So this is an application for a engraved rock sign. If you go to the site plan, the cover sheet, you'll see where the location is, just to give you a sense of orientation on the site. I think it's one back. It's in that upper left-hand corner with the indicated in red. And we've looked at a couple of different options and iterations and felt that this was, you know, there is precedent for engraved rock signs, and I think the application's fairly straightforward, so looking forward to your feedback, Mr. Chair.
All right, great. Thank you. Size does comply with what the guidelines recommend for a rock sign. The other note in the guidelines would be rural location, which has had some latitude, or, you know, this, in my opinion, would probably comply. Let's say Mark, Kevin, and Paul.
I knew you were going to start with me.
Is it a real rock?
Yes, it
That
is.
actually was going to be my question as I looked up.
We debated about foam core, but we thought it would be better to just go with
Is
like
it
a natural
MDO?
material. MDO, yeah, no. It is a stone boulder. So it's natural.
Can I just see this site plan again, please, where this is going to be located? So it's at that entrance. And then maybe that next slide back just shows the overall, yeah. Got it. So we're off Lovers Lane.
If I could through you, Mr. Chair, it's back pretty far.
Yeah.
Off of Old South, and
Yeah.
it's a fairly industrial area. It was, you know, former junkyard, but there's still quite a bit of like exterior storage there. But I do think that the area will slowly improve. But
Yeah. And Chair, have we? I'm just trying to recall. I know we've got rock signs out there. They seem to be more for like large campus type approaches, like the airport or that sort of thing. We have others for. I'm not opposed to the application. I think it's kind of low profile. I think it'll just sort of disappear in the landscape. But do we have precedent for commercial applications?
You
like
probably
this?
say, depending on what you call like the new school, perhaps.
Okay.
Anchor Village.
Yeah. So we have a few out there, I guess.
There's a few Bartlett Farms. You know,
it's also Candlewick Corner. If I through you, Mr. Chair, Candlewick Corner. I know Maya Comet Preserve. So there are a number of them.
Yeah, they always. I always think of them in the context of a campus or a neighborhood or something larger, versus a single address like this. So I guess I don't have any further comments or questions. Thank you.
okay, great. Kevin?
I have no concerns with the sign itself. However, my only concern, I guess, is a big, a big white rock. I think I'd rather see, the rock not all be painted white with, that could be kind of bright when all's said and done. So I'd prefer to see something different colorways. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good point. That should have been brought up. So the background, just Matt, can you identify? I'm reading this application. Where does it say it's white? The ground is listed. It's not listed as anything on the application.
It's on the drawing.
It says painted white background, and I kind of, I mean, we could go with a natural unpainted stone, and maybe pick a stone that's, obviously a natural occurring color that might be on the lighter side, but that was a client's preference, but if
Okay.
that's an issue, we can certainly address that.
Yeah, the application, the physical application sheet doesn't list that. So I would personally prefer to see that that's kind of the way every sign has been approved, is as a natural rock painted.
Would we, Kevin, would you add or recommending a black letter versus a blue if they go with the natural stone?
I'd be okay with either black or blue with it.
Okay.
I just think the
Okay,
stone should be natural.
Yeah,
Again,
I don't
the
disagree.
application reads black. So I'm going back to that.
I apologize. I just noticed that myself, so we'll get that corrected, and sorry for the confusion.
No problem. Let me have, Paul, you haven't weighed in yet.
Yes, the application has wording on the sign of 10 to 12 Dave Kim Lane, which is an address which is fairly common in stone rock signs or street addresses. But then the design of it shows the name of the business, which I think is a freestanding sign. So I'm concerned about setting a precedent of rock signs becoming freestanding signs.
Rocks, we do have the rock signs as a specific sign type that is approvable, which in the guidelines must be in a semi-rural or rural setting outside the OHD. Space for the lettering can't exceed 3 square feet. It must be securely installed. Can't be in the street on the sidewalk, and cannot be or may not be used in combination with other signs. So this is the sign for this location. And then graphics and text must comply with relevant guidelines, the general guidelines. So
thank you.
The section does allow for it.
All right. I don't have any other questions or comments.
Okay. My comments are simply, I'd like to see it with, I think black lettering is more appropriate, but if blue is the client's choice, but definitely on a natural colored, not natural colored, a natural rock would be important.
So moved.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mark. Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. Thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you all very much.
So
Have a
that was
wonderful day.
approved with a natural rock color, Mr. Chair.
Natural rock, basically as the application reads, as opposed to
So just approved as submitted.
No.
as submitted using the natural rock black lettering. Matt, are you still on the line?
I am.
Is black or blue lettering? We're giving you that latitude. Do you want to specify?
I would love the blue if it's possible, just because that's something the client I think asked for, and I understand that we listed it as black. But if blue's an option, that would be our strong preference.
Okay, is it a dark blue or the blue that we're seeing on the screen? Basically, not a.
I didn't bring anything.
We can provide a color swatch, but I'd say that the graphic indicates the color we're after.
That would be
Especially
great.
if it's
Can you just submit a color?
Certainly.
Nikki, we can let Nikki approve it, or if there's a concern, Nikki, let us know. But does that work for everybody? Okay. Thanks. So just submit something for the file, Matt, so that we can make sure it's not going to be the fluorescent blue
okay.
rock sign that sets precedent. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, great. So we are on to
Sign
I
off.
believe that
Thank
was
you.
it for, thank you, Matt. Nikki, if I'm not mistaken, that's it for applications except for the one that was brought to our attention late, correct?
Yes, so now we have
Okay.
four.
Or North Water temporary
North
sign.
Water.
Okay, is anybody on the call for that?
Here.
All right.
Before we proceed, so just a little background on this, I had received several enforcement requests for the banner sign. And so I reached out to the applicant and he's decided to come in because he was not aware that he needed to be approved through the council.
Okay, Thank you. So this sign is, was up. I'm assuming it's down at the moment.
Yes, it's
Or is
been
it still in
down. The
place?
second I got the call, I took the sign
All right.
down. I'm not trying to create any problems for anyone here, and I apologize for not presenting in the beginning.
Okay. So you're applying now, and how long would this, this temporary through the end of the month?
Correct. I have
That's what you're
about
applying
2
for.
weeks left. Yes.
Okay. I am going, we might get some questions from the board. I'm just going to refer back to the sign guidelines for a moment under banner signs. But we'll start with Kevin. We'll go Kevin, Paul, Mark. If you guys want to weigh in on what we're looking at. Does everybody see the sign? Right now I'm seeing Nikki's screen, but not the sign.
It's not on the screen.
Nikki,
Chris, what do the
share that?
guidelines have for size?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Are you seeing it now?
There it is.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Sorry guys, I'm just scrolling through looking for the discussion of temporary signage.
I mean, I can go ahead.
Okay.
I
Thanks.
think it's just I think it's just too large, and it's obscuring the entrance to the building. I don't see how we would have ever have approved this at this scale.
So discussing the signage, temporary banners are, while they have historical precedent, the proliferation of banners is to be avoided. Banners should fit within the architectural area so as not to obscure any of the articulation. They must conform to wall sign dimensions, which would put it at 2 feet maximum height is a wall sign dimension. And it would have to be of canvas or fabric material. Graphics and text must comply with relevant guidelines. Special event banners. That's for the light pole section. But under temporary signs, which is where the banners fall, it really is meant to be about event specific information. It's never been used as a business locating sign. So there's a conflict there with just the type of event if this is really more of a business location sign.
Yes, let me ask this then, since I understand this is probably never going to be passed, even though I'm only here another 2 weeks and I don't mean to step on anyone's toes. As far as me looking for fast short-term signage so people can be aware of what the building and the store is, I would be open to your guys' recommendations. Like, I just need some way for people to understand that I am a store if possible. I apologize again for, I guess, being dumb and brash in how I did things and not sticking to the historical nature of Nantucket. What would you guys, I guess, recommend for me for a short-term fix, as I am only here an additional 2 weeks and I am just trying to figure that out. And I would also love for Nantucket to be something I do every summer as a pop-up, or what I offer is high-end Italian clothing, as I think I offer something unique to the island that is not currently here.
Well, obviously this fell into the enforcement category rather quickly. Have you had a chance to read the sign book and review the sign
Yes.
types? There's wall signs and there's different options. Unfortunately, whoever rented this space, didn't give you the guidance we wish they had. So I'm not sure, it's not really our job to design the sign for you, but
Yeah. No, I understand
yeah.
that. I understand that. So, if I were to get something where the beam, the black, the hang down sign is, and put something there temporarily for 2 weeks that, let's say, fits in that 11 by 17 inch space, would that be something that could potentially work? If I am now asking too much of you guys and I'm kind of just SOL because I have been not done my own due diligence, then I understand that as well. And, I will own that to the best of my ability.
Well, since you're only here for 2 weeks, no application that could be made for us to review would be approved in time for you. So I would say avoid being brought up on the violators list. Again, it's maybe speak with Nikki if you like. It's hard for us. We're not here to design your signage for you. So
Oh, yeah. No,
I would
I
say,
understand that.
yeah,
So
you can. We
I think
will.
I think it's just basically too large. So anything you do,
Oh, this is for sure.
yeah, anything you can do to get your name out there without, something at half that size.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and if you're coming back next year, we would love to see you in the spring, and we can go through a nice review process, and you can be prepared for business with a sign that's approved.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. So, Nikki, that was not actually an application on the agenda, right? That was just something that was brought in to be discussed. So we don't need to make a motion on that, correct?
Well, it's up to you. I have in quotations that votes may be taken. So if you'd like to vote on
Okay.
it, great. If
Let's-
not, you don't have to.
Let's have a motion. Let's have a motion for this just to close the discussion. Would somebody like to make a motion on whether this should be approved or denied?
I move we deny.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Kevin,
Aye.
are you, thank you, Mark,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
thank you. Okay, thanks. That just closes the book on that conversation. All right, let's move over to enforcement.
Oh, 1
Hold
second.
on, Nikki's got a
Denial.
comment.
So recommend denial due to size.
Size,
Non-compliance with the
material,
guidelines.
just
Material.
non-compliance. Yeah, general non-compliance. I think
The guidelines.
size, guide, yeah, type, location, material. And Nikki, you had sent us the enforcement.
The applicant is still
Spreadsheet.
on, right? So look, you've been denied. So right now, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? We said there's no signage option presently, but I'm just trying, we're not going to design a sign for you, but you can put wares out on your porch so somebody can see their clothing is being sold from this location.
Oh, amazing. I've been told that was a huge no-no along with sandals.
No, you can't put it in the sidewalk, but you could do it on your porch entry if you had the opportunity to add a small mannequin or something put out during your business hours. You could put an American flag out, so it looks like obviously there's something that's open. Don't do an open flag, but you could do an American flag. You do a Nantucket flag. Just something to draw a little attention to your entrance if you're trying to still have customers find your location. So you could get creative in that respect. Sorry, Kevin, are you going to say something?
Well, yeah, any sign, under a foot or 14 inches or whatever is going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you had I don't know exactly, I'm just using an example. You had a mannequin out there, a sweater, there was a small placard that had your name, business name on it, just so somebody can find that location, that's fine.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Mark and Kevin. All right, so that does conclude that discussion. Let's move over to the enforcement spreadsheet that Nikki sent. Did everybody have a chance to review that? Nikki, do you want to walk us through it?
Well, I'll just do it from memory because I'm not at my computer because I can't get into my
Okay.
computer.
Oh.
But so I sent out one to McLaughlin on Salem Street. So I'm expecting to hear back from them, or most people just remove the signs. I actually don't hear back from most. And then I had sent out a notice to 7 Easy Street for Compass. I haven't heard back from them for that notice, so I sent out a second notice because I received several enforcement requests from the general public, and I think I got from one council member as well. So now they have, instead of that one door sign, so they removed it from the door and put it around on the fence area, plus they have an additional sign there and a sandwich board. So that's the second notice.
Excuse me, who is that?
Hello?
Paul, that's Compass down on,
Oh, that's Compass
7 Easy
called,
Street.
7 Easy Street.
sort of that little
At
cottage
North
across.
Wharf.
Yeah,
Yeah, so now instead of that one sign, they've added multiple signs and took it from the door, but a passerby saw it and sent it to me that they moved it. So I'm hoping to hear back from them. And then this one I sent for the 4 North Water. I sent a few more, I can't remember right now. And then I received a few from Leslie, from Libby regarding Aunt Leah's event. Because the document that I had sent over with Aunt Leah's, that was from the court magistrate. But that was brought to my attention that it's solely based on just memory, like there's no documentation or file that they could find to say that it was indeed grandfather. So I'm not really sure how we proceed with that. And then also I can't find any documents of what the sign used to be. So I don't know how we proceed with that, to be honest. The police department is having trouble as well because they've issued them a notice, but they're coming back saying they were grandfather. But the only thing we received was a letter from a magistrate, but that was just based off memory, not necessarily like a document. So we're kind of at a standstill with that until I get more information, to be honest.
Doesn't sound like a very legally tenable opinion.
there definitely were 2 different events, where that went to court on 2 different occasions. So there has to be some record. I don't know how the court records work, but they definitely did. Bob Rivers, who was the administrator of the HDC,
Way back.
he had to go. I know he went once, and then I believe, and why is the name escaping me? The gentleman that passed away, his successor,
Mark
worked for the
Boyd.
DPW. Mark Boyd,
Yeah.
thank you. I think Mark also represented the HDC in front of the court. So
Well, I think
perhaps
we
there's
should.
some records
I
there.
think we should. Personally, I think we should pursue it if it means going back again. I think that I have a little more confidence in our courts than what we just have on this piece of paper. So I tend to think there's more there, and we ought to pursue it instead of just being hoodwinked.
Yeah, I would agree. So if Nikki, there's any way to try to drum up the records, that would be helpful, I think. So
Yes,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
still looking
that'd be
into
great.
it. Chief Casper had reached out to me again. Because they want, some more documentation so that they can know, because it's there. And then she also wants to know what it looked like before, because obviously if it's grandfather, the armature cannot change design or anything, or they'll lose the status of that. So, but I don't have anything. I've checked the file. There's nothing there. So I guess the next step is to just check Bonton and see what files they have or archives.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Shouldn't that be the applicant's responsibility,
yes,
not yours?
you're right.
You know,
I'm going to look through my email archive and just see if there was some minutes. that give us any indications. I'll forward whatever I can to you, Nikki.
So
Sounds
just
good.
for what it's worth, I mean, if you go on Google Street View, you can see the signs there in 2008. And this is not me trying to promote, I'm just trying to, I do recall, I think there's been some discussion as to what was there previously. They did change it out. I remember there being making a mental note at the time that it changed. And if, let's see if I go to even 2016, taxis are always in the way, but yeah, I mean, it's more or less the same. It was no better or worse before. It was the black base. I think they just got a new one, made a new sign. It was bad then, it's bad now. I don't, you know, what that's worth. So yeah, there is a pretty good image of it in 2019. So we can compare it to what's there today. I mean, the one in 2019 is pretty awful as well. So there's a little documentation out there going back however many years that is, to 2008 at least, available online.
Well,
Thanks.
and the other thing I think is more than reasonable is, you know, to address all the other violations. They seem to just be getting away with all of them.
Well, yeah, I think, Kevin, are you referring to the fact that whole area is like just plastered with applied signs to doors and everything else? Yeah, you know, I think that's a discussion with NIR, because I think almost all the tenants to some degree are in violation back in there. It's gotten pretty cluttered. And it would be great if NIR could at least step in to clean up in general and bring all the storefronts into compliance while we maybe independently deal with what's going on with the sidewalk sign.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And then for children's speech, I think it's Gypsy that you sent me, Chris. That one, if I'm not mistaken, did you guys not go for a view there 2 years? I don't think it was ever like formally approved. Because you guys went for the view and then they said they would come back in the spring. But I don't think they ever came back.
No, we never did see a revised application there.
Yeah, I
But
remember
they've
that
also
one.
withdrew. At the time, they were trying to put some freestanding signs in their planters. And then I think
see.
that were right adjacent to the building, nothing to do with sandwich boards across the park or anything like that. So, yeah, this would be something worth just starting fresh on. Is it the same tenants? Are they still, I know that's like a contract that gets renewed. I don't know if it's the same people.
I think it's the same. And I submitted those photos, but you know, they have the menu in the freestanding menu box, if you will, that's out there on the sidewalk. And right beside it, they have the very same menu replicated in a sandwich board. So totally redundant, and they're side by side. Then they put another one down by the water's edge, sort of along that paved area behind the lifeguard stands. So, and they're not adding to the context out there, that they're a little cheap looking. So I think it's worth pursuing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Other items, I'm looking at your spreadsheet there. You've got the gas light listed as not resolved yet.
Yeah, I have not heard back from the property owners yet.
It's still there,
You know,
as recent as a weekend.
Yeah, I went to check. It's still there. So,
you know, on some
they'll
of,
have to get a second notice, and then, you know, we'll just have to go through the due process until hopefully it doesn't get to a citation. But if it has to, then it just has to.
Okay.
you know,
Same thing
on
with the
some of,
Lex. Go ahead. Go ahead,
on
Kevin.
some of these cases, or some of the cases that involve other licensing, Nikki, I would recommend also that you reach out, you know, to licensing and let them know, you know, Amy Baxter know when somebody is not in compliance, because technically they're supposed to be before they get all of their other licenses. So that's a little extra leverage with those kinds of businesses.
Okay. Thanks.
I just wanted to mention if, since I've, been back, the Lemon Press is just really taken over Main Street. There's now an easel board out on the sidewalk during the day. There's an umbrella with no table or no seats. It's just an umbrella stuck up there. It's been stuck up there year round for, I think, over a year. Their sign is still lit 24 hours a day with a higher watt bulb. And it's just kind of taking over. And I think we should probably tighten that up. It's up on Main Street.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but it's getting a little bit out of control because it is so busy.
Well, I'll take a walk by and maybe we get some photographs that we can actually review. Might be helpful.
Yeah, if you
Let's
have
pop
any
in.
photographs.
I do. I did take some. I just haven't sent them in. The other thought I had, and I don't know if this is worthy of discussion or not, but I've also noticed more of the flower arrangements, the plastic flower arrangements, which is kind of like this umbrella. It's something that's being put out to get attention. And I'm wondering if an approach for us, we could certainly take the approach that they're not allowed and fight that fight. Or I think we can maybe take an approach where we allow them under certain circumstances, like a temporary sign for a short period of time. So if somebody was doing an open house and they wanted a floral display around their entrance, we could say, great, it's for 3 days and it's gone. Or somebody wants to put some umbrellas up in front, great, they're there for a couple days and they're gone. I don't know if that's worth thinking about or not, but I thought I'd bring it up.
I think we should go back to the board. That was, it went to the full board. They kicked it to us to have public hearings. It went back to them and they sort of let it die on the vine. No pun intended. So let's, I think we would have to wait for their guidance on that before we start putting it
Okay.
on the enforcement list, just to be, acting as their advisory board. But Nikki, if I'm at the meeting today, that's not going to be on their agenda, correct? So I should not bring that up at the meeting this afternoon.
Yeah, you can't
Or
bring
am I?
that up.
Okay, maybe we
But
can just
you
put that on
can,
for future.
yeah, you can send Steve, the chair, an email and then
Okay.
copy myself, Leslie and Kathy. So that we can look into putting it on, a future agenda for discussion.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
maybe
will-
we can group all the photos together for you, Chris.
Okay. That would help if I had some photographic evidence. Yeah, send me what you guys have. And I
I
will.
also did get out to
together.
Island Lumber. And they have some substantial signs up. I have photographs, I'll send them in. We're talking, I'd say 14-inch letters across 12 to 14 feet.
Okay. I've been forwarding everything that's sent to me so that Nikki's inbox and Leslie's have been getting filled. Keep sending them.
Well, I think we're doing the best we've ever done, really.
Agreed. Nikki, you've been doing a great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else have questions, comments, or concerns or motions?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kevin. Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Mark,
Aye.
Kevin,
All right.
me too. Thank you, guys. Good
Thank
meeting
you.
today.
Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Take care.